Hey guys, so last week I launched a Kickstarter project to fund a zip up hoodie with a kitsune design, and it's printed all over. So it's on the hood, on the shoulders, a little bit on the sleeve, which is why I wasn't able to record regular YouTube videos. I was busy doing my Kickstarter video with editing. Woo. So I'll link to it right here. As of this recording, we just crossed the 50% funded mark. So I have until February 27th to get it all the way there. So if it sounds like something you'd like to see or check it out, head on over to the project and please consider contributing. But that is not what I want to talk about. Sometime later, I'll talk about Kickstarter and all that kind of stuff. Today, I want to talk about collaboration and collaborating with other creators. And I'm going to basically talk about the two basic kinds of collaboration, like informal ones and more formalized ones. And collaboration in general is a good idea because it helps you see things from a different perspective. When you get another person's input into what you're doing, it can really help you flesh out your processes, like your writing process or your storytelling process or your drawing process. Like sometimes it's just mechanical stuff, like, oh, you hold the pencil this way, well, I'll try it that way. An informal collaboration could be as simple as like sending an email to a friend and say, hey, I have this joke that I'm not sure about. Can you see if this is funny or if this makes you laugh? Or, I have a plot point that I'm trying to work around, or there's this character that I can't quite get the voice of. Something informal where, you have a group of friends that you trust with ideas, and you're willing to send them out there and you're willing to take feedback from them, because actually that's one of the most important parts to any collaboration is respect for the other person's skill set. So like you might not agree with the feedback that they gave you, but when you're asking for feedback, that is not the time to get into a heated argument and defend your idea. If you're asking for ideas, you have to be open to that and you have to respect where that other person is coming from. So whenever you enter in a collaboration, whether it's informal or formal, respect is the most important thing to keep in mind, because otherwise you just end up into a fighting match and it doesn't work out. But respect, even if it's just an informal type of collaboration. These can also come in the form of like a monthly or a weekly meetup. So we have this local Washington Webtoonist meetup that we try to do every month. It's not always, it doesn't always happen, and we all get together and we eat lunch and we talk about comics and we talk about convention experiences and things like that, and we share ideas about like new products or new things to do, and it's a really informal group, but it's great to get together and bounce ideas off of each other, like even if it's simple stuff like, oh, what cons are you going to, or how do you do this on your website, or I'm really interested in what you're doing. And that's a really great way to sort of get a collaborative atmosphere going. So one of the things that I hear people say, well, I don't know any cartoonists in my area. How do I get something like this started? Chances are there are probably cartoonists in your area who have already started up something like this. You can check out meetup groups or something like that. If no one in your area has started something, you can start it yourself, and it's really easy to do. You can set up a Facebook group and you can invite people that you think would be local, or you can do it with Meetup. I mean, there's all these different social meeting things that you can set up to kind of spark off a meetup group. That's where half of my cartooning friends came from, was just biting the bullet and joining up with the Washington Webtoonists. I knew maybe like one other member at the time, and I got to know all these other cartoonists that were local to me. So yeah, informal collaborations are great. It's no pressure. You don't have to fight over ideas. You just, take the ones that you want to use and leave the rest. Now, when it comes to more formalized collaborations, these can be kind of a double-edged sword. Like, on the one hand, you have someone else to blame, which is great. Like, it's your fucking fault. On the other hand, this is where that respect really comes into play. Like, you absolutely have to respect the other person's skill set, where they're coming from. And when it comes to like working out problems, like if you guys disagree on something, this is where that respect comes into play, because you want to try to formulate your arguments based on, objective facts and stuff, and try not to take it personally. This is really easy to do if you are an art student, because years and years of people shitting on your artwork in peer reviews gets you used to people not liking your ideas. So if you're unfamiliar with the peer review process, where they stand up your piece of art on the wall and everyone says, "Oh, this is pretty shitty. This is terrible. What you did with that line there, that I don't know what that came from." If you're not used to that experience, then having someone come and confront your idea that you've spent years and years on, or like this technique that you're doing or something, and have someone confront that and say, "This isn't working. We need to change it." That can be kind of difficult not to take personally. But if you're in a true collaboration with a partner or several partners, you have to understand that the product you are creating, the comic, the story, is bigger than the both of you. It's both of yours. Like, if it's a true collaboration, and the project can only benefit from multiple ideas. So even if the thought of changing what you're doing is so repugnant to you, try to view it from the other person's perspective. Try to see where they're coming from. Try to have empathy for their position, and that's one of the most difficult things to do in a collaboration, like where you have a writer and an artist, or if you have two writers and artists. Like, it's much easier if it's work for hire, because then you get a script and you draw a thing, or you get an assignment and you write the thing, and then you hand it off to someone else and you set it and you forget it, and if there are changes, whatever, the client is paying for it. So, work for hire is a strange type of formalized collaboration. It's easier to handle because, you either do the work or you don't get paid. But if both of you are working towards the similar goal, and you're getting paid on the back end, you're doing it for free essentially. It's a little bit more difficult. One of the best things to do when you come into a collaboration like this is the notion of no precious ideas. You can't put your ideas and your opinions above your partners, because that's disrespecting what they're bringing to the plate. Everyone has an even playing field when you're coming with your ideas. There are no such thing as precious ideas. Like, if something that you've been working on for years and you think it's great, and you bring it to the plate and it gets shot down from your partner, there could be a reason. Your idea could not work for the project, or there might be a better way to do things. Just, go in there with a positive attitude, and you're in this collaboration for a reason. Like, you're not working on it alone. If your ideas were great and you liked what you were doing and you could do everything, you would be doing it on your own, and you would be doing those informal collaborations with friends and groups and stuff like that. But there's a reason you chose your partner. There's a reason you chose this other person to work with. And if you don't respect their ideas and the way they do things, it's going to fall apart. And I know this kind of comes strange from somebody who does their own thing. Like, Yellow Peril is all me. I do all the writing, I do all the art, I do all that kind of stuff. But in the past, I have worked on projects with other people, and when it starts to fall down is when one person's ideas are not being respected, one person's workflow is not being respected, what that person brings to the plate is not being respected, and that's when it all falls to shit, and things can get messy. That's usually when you see creators just part ways and do something else, creative differences. But it's really, one person is not respecting the other person. So mutual respect is the absolute most important thing to bring to a formalized collaboration. Now, how do you meet the people that you want to work with? Sometimes friends aren't always the best people to work with, because it's even more difficult to separate personal and professional. Like your collaboration, your relationship has started way before you decided to make a comic together with this person. Like, you've hung out together, you play video games together, this person on one level, and then to suddenly switch and make it more formalized, and to leave out all of your emotions and all of your all the emotional baggage that comes with a regular friendship, that can be pretty difficult, and that requires a lot of maturity on both of your parts. You have to be able to step away from the project and say, okay, look, I disagree with your idea. I still want to work with you as a person, but I disagree with your idea, and here are the reasons. So it's a little bit more tricky than working with friends. Working with strangers can sometimes be better because you know this person as a writer, or you know this person as an artist, and that's how you know them first. And then over the course of your collaboration, a friendship might develop or whatever. But if you meet them as professionals first, it's easier to keep that professional atmosphere. So before you just jump right in with friends, like, hey, this is going to be fun making a comic, you might want to step back and figure out if there are any personality quirks with that person that you just don't like about them, or if they do things in a way that don't mesh with your workflow. And if you can't get over those, stay friends, forget your project, and find someone else to collaborate with you. And again, that takes a lot of maturity to step back, so and respect and all that kind of stuff. So it sounds like I'm coming back to the R word, respect. Collaborations are all about respect, and respecting yourself and respecting other people's and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna stop now because I tend to ramble at the end of these things. But if you have further thoughts on collaborations and things that help you work with other people, or tools that you bring to the process, whether it's like brainstorming tools, or if you two come to a disagreement, how you work those out, drop them in the comments wherever you find this. Thank you for watching. Oh, and again, please check out the Kickstarter, which I will link once again right here. All right, thank you very much. Check you later. Bye.